Hi, Ashley here with HeartHookHome.com, and today I am bringing you a sponsored post from Hobby Lobby on how to crochet these gorgeous Monstera leaves. This is a boho wall hanging, and for this pattern I have 4 different leaf patterns included. This one tends to be the most difficult, although it is still relatively easy. We are going to crochet this one together, the one with 6 fenestrations on our leaves. Absolutely gorgeous, beautiful design. There are several other leaf patterns included that are also free on HeartHookHome.com. So grab your hook and all of your supplies and let's get started. In order to crochet our Monstera leaves, we are going to need some yarn. So I have this, I love this yarn in the dark olive colorway. I also have one in light sage. And then we also have, for a variegated version, we have the Sage Advice. These 3 colors look gorgeous together, and it really creates exactly the vibe that we're going for this boho wall hanging. So we've got our yarn that we need in order to make our leaves. Then we are going to need some floral tape that we will use to tape around these floral wires that will help the leaves keep their shape as they are hanging on your wall. We've also got some twine for hanging, some jute. We are going to use this to hang the actual leaves from the center of the leaf. We are also going to attach this to our birch wood stick that is also available there as well. So our stick is 48 inches long. We are going to create a various number of leaves that we can hang from that stick. I also went ahead and got some wooden beads because I thought that those would be really cute to incorporate into the wall hanging itself. I thought that maybe some of these colors would be fun, add to the boho vibe. So I am really excited to get started. Let's make us a leaf. In order to make your leaves in varying sizes that we need for the wall hanging, you're going to make either one of 4 leaf patterns. This one is the largest pattern with those 6 fenestrations. And in order to change the size of your leaves, not only do we have a small pattern, a medium pattern, and then a large pattern, but you can also change your hook size as well. For the video purposes, I am going to be using a G 4mm hook to crochet this one with you today. Normally, for the medium size, I would use my I 5.5mm hook, but this is going to fit better in my camera frame. So let's crochet one of these together. So first things first, I'm going to start with my slip knot. Make sure that you do print off this pattern, or at least open the web page on Heart Hook Home so that you can follow along with me as I'm crocheting these. First things first, I'm going to chain 2, and we're going to do 5 half double crochets in the first chain we made. So in the second chain from the hook, we're going to place 5 half double crochets. Row 1 complete. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to half double crochet in the first 2 stitches. Now we're going to 3 half double crochet in the next here, and this is going to be the centermost point of our leaf. So in most of these rows, at least in the beginning, we are going to place 3 half double crochets in the center stitch so that we get that effect of the leaf. Now that I've done my 3 in that center stitch, I'm going to half double crochet in each of the remaining 2 stitches. Lovely. Now we're ready for row 3. Chain 1 and turn. We're going to put 2 half double crochets in this first stitch. We're going to half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Again, we are going to put 3 half double crochets in the centermost stitch. Half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. And then 2 half double crochet in the last here. Awesome. So now we are already done with row 3. Chain 1 and turn. We're going to do a half double crochet in 5 stitches, 3 half double crochet in the center, and then half double crochet in the remaining 5 stitches. Awesome. Now we are ready for row 5. So we are going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to do 2 half double crochets in the first stitch, half double crochet in 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to 3 half double crochet in the next. We're going to half double crochet in those 5, and then we're going to place 2 in the last stitch again. Now we're going to do row 6 where we chain 1 and turn. We're going to do half double crochet in 8, 3 half double crochet in the center stitch, and then half double crochet in the remaining 8 stitches. This is actually a pretty quick and pretty easy pattern, to be honest. And like I said, this is the most difficult of all of the leaves. So this is a fun, quick, and relatively inexpensive project for as big as the wall hanging is. 7, 8, then 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Excellent. Now we are ready for row 7. Row 7 is our first row that has a fenestration in it, so we're going to create 2 little holes here, which we will use using chain or make using chain spaces. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to place a half double crochet in this first stitch right here, just to kind of anchor that end. Now we're going to chain 9. Now we're going to skip 7 stitches and we're going to half double crochet in the next. This one right here. Great, so that is our first hole in our leaves. Now we're going to do 3 half double crochet in the centermost stitch. We're going to half double crochet in the next. And then we're going to do another chain 9, skip 7, and half double crochet in the last. Beautiful. So now this is our first fenestration of our leaf. Let's open these stitches up by going back through in row 8. Let's do a chain 1 and turn. We're going to half double crochet in the first 12 stitches. So that includes stitches and chains. We're going to do 12 half double crochets. We're going to do 3 in the center stitch and then 12 down the other side. When it comes to these chains, you can either flip it and go into the back bar here, or you can go through the top 2 loops. It really does not matter. I think that it lays a little bit better if you do go through the top 2 loops as you normally would in crochet. 12, and now we're going to do 3 in the centermost stitch. Let's do our 12 going down the other side. 12. Perfect. So now we are done with row 8. And you can see, since the chains that we made are too larger than the number of stitches that we skipped, it really helps open up those holes in your leaf. Doesn't that look amazing? I love it. So we are ready for the next row, which is a row 9. And in this row, we are going to just chain 1 and turn and half double crochet all the way across. We are not going to do the 3 in the center for this row, and that's really where it changes in the pattern, because we don't want it to continue to have this super high peak, so we're going to kind of narrow it out just a little bit. Not every row from here on out, but we are going to need to pay attention to that as we go forward. Chain 1 and turn, just half double crochet in each stitch across, no increasing, no extra stitches anywhere, just continue straight across with those half double crochets. Perfect, 27 stitches. We are now ready for row 10. Chain 1 and turn. We're going to do half double crochet in 13 stitches, 3 in the center, and 13 down the other side. For the most part, for all of these leaves, we keep everything symmetrical. On one of the leaves, we do have some funky holes, but honestly, it's the same exact concept as what we are doing here. Great. Now we're ready for row 11. We're going to do the same exact thing we just did, except 14, 3, and 14. Awesome. So now that we are finished with row 11, row 12 is another fenestration row. So we're going to add more holes in our leaves as the next row. Chain 1 and turn. We're going to do that half double crochet in the first stitch. And then we're going to do a chain 15, skip 13 of these, and then do the same business that we did in this row down here. So I'm going to do my chain 15. Let's skip 13 stitches. I'm going to place a half double crochet in the 14th stitch. And I'm going to do 3 half double crochets in this center stitch. Half double crochet in the next, and then we're going to chain 15, skip 13, and do a half double crochet in the last over here. Excellent. Isn't this looking great? Absolutely love it. Now we are going to repeat row 9, which means that we're going to chain 1 and turn and just go all the way across. Now that we've done our row 13, which was just a regular half double crochet row, look at how great these little holes are. Isn't that beautiful? Now we are going to do row 14, so we're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to do 18 stitches, 3 in the center, and then 18 down the other side. Perfect. For row 15, we're going to repeat row 9, which is just a solid half double crochet row, no increasing, nothing. For row 16, we are going to have our first decrease. So in order to create these leaves to where they grow and then they get smaller, we're going to place decreases on each end, not every row, but this is the row where they start for this size of the leaf. So for row 16, I'm going to chain 1 and turn. I'm going to do a half double crochet 2 together in these first 2 stitches, and I like to just go straight into that next one and yarn over and pull through all of the loops. Now I'm going to half double crochet in 35 stitches. There's no increasing at the top again, so straight 35 stitches all the way across, and I'm going to do a half double crochet 2 together in these final 2 stitches over here. So all of the stitches in the center should be 35, which should leave you with 2 left over. So there's 35. I've got 2 stitches left over. I'm going to do a half double crochet 2 together in those last 2 available stitches. Perfect. We are now ready for our final fenestration row. So this is going to be largest holes that we have on this entire leaf. For row 17, we're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to do a half double crochet in the first. We're going to chain 18 and skip 16. So I'm going to place my next half double crochet in that stitch. I've skipped 16, half double crochet there, half double crochet in the next, half double crochet in the next. So in this row, we have 3 half double crochets right next to each other. We're not doing 3 in the center stitch. Now we're going to chain 18 again. We're going to skip 16 stitches, and we're going to place a half double crochet in this last stitch here. Chain 1 and turn. We're going to do this one a little bit differently than we did these chains down here. First, we're going to do a half double crochet 2 together using the first half double crochet and that first chain. So I'm going to yarn over, pull up a loop in that first half double crochet, and then I'm going to pull up a loop in the next chain right here and complete that half double crochet 2 together. Now I'm going to half double crochet in 37 stitches, and then when I get over to this side, I'm going to do a half double crochet 2 together using that last chain and that last stitch. So now we are finished with row 18. We are ready for row 19, which is a repeat of row 16. So chain 1 and turn, half double crochet 2 together using those first 2 stitches, half double crochet in 35 stitches, and then in these last 2 over here, do a half double crochet 2 together. Lovely. So now we are ready for row 20, which is going to be the last row on our leaves before we do the little hump parts on both sides, right? So row 20 is a chain 1, turn, half double crochet, 2 together, half double crochet in 33 stitches, and then half double crochet 2 together in these final 2 over here. Lovely. So now we are ready to do the finishing touches at the top of our leaves where we will make it look like a little heart shape. In order to do the right side, chain 1 and turn. We're going to single crochet 2 together in these first 2 stitches. So just insert, pull up, and finish that single crochet. Single crochet in the next, half double crochet in the next, and then double crochet in the next 10 stitches. Half double crochet in the next 3 stitches, and that is going to be the end of the first row of the right. Chain 1 and turn, half double crochet in the first 2 stitches, double crochet in the next 10, half double crochet in the next 2, and then in these last 2 here, we're going to do a single crochet 2 together. Lovely. Now we only have one more row of the right before we move on to the left. Chain 1 and turn, single crochet these first 2 together. Beautiful. Half double crochet in the next, double crochet in 10, and then in this last stitch here, we're going to do a half double crochet 2 together in these last 2 stitches. Excellent. So that is the first half of the top. Now we're going to do the same thing over here. Instead of fastening off though, I'm just going to slip stitch down and across so that we can start right here. So I'm just going to slip stitch pretty loosely because we're going to have to go back through these. Doesn't have to be perfect, just keep them a little bit on the loose side so that you can crochet them through them to, on the next finishing row. So here's where that last stitch went into for the right. I'm going to slip stitch into the next open stitch on the actual leaf, so right here, and on the next one I'm slip stitching, and I'm making sure not to make those slip stitches too awful tight. Now I'm going to start on the left, so I'm going to chain 1, I'm going to half double crochet in that stitch that I just did the slip stitch, and then the next 2. So for 3 total, we've got 3 half double crochets in a row. Now I'm going to double crochet in 10, half double crochet in the next, single crochet, and single crochet 2 together. Beautiful. For the next row of the left, we're going to chain 1 and turn, single crochet 2 together, half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, double crochet in 10 stitches, half double crochet in the last 2 stitches. Each one gets 1 half double crochet. Now we're ready for the final row before we do our edging. Chain 1 and turn, half double crochet 2 together, double crochet in 10, half double crochet in the next, and then single crochet 2 together for the final stitch. Now, do not fasten off here. We are going to go all the way around the entire leaf with a single crochet border, and then we're going to take our floral wire that we looked at earlier and we're going to crochet around it to help the leaf stay open, nice and pulled apart so that you can see all of those gorgeous fenestrations. So first things first, you could technically crochet around the wire in this row, but I feel like this single crochet row that is a preparation for the adding the wire, and it just makes everything just look so much cleaner and crisper. So all we're going to do, where we are still attached, I'm going to just chain 1 and I'm going to single crochet, not super tightly, I'm going to stay a little bit on the loose side, but I'm just going to single crochet all the way around my entire leaf. And I'm going to do this in a way so that hopefully I want to make sure that I'm placing enough stitches to where it doesn't make it so tight, right? So you're going to be kind of not liberal with your stitches, but don't be shy about placing these single crochets around the border. When you get down to the bottom point of the leaf here where we started, I do recommend doing several stitches right here in that where we started with our slip knot, just to keep it a nice point. I'm going to do 3 single crochets right there. And now here you can either crochet around the tail from the beginning or you can weave it in at the end. It does not really matter, completely up to you. I'm going to crochet around it so that I don't have to worry about it later. Continue up the leaf. So here I am at the top of the right where we did those slip stitches, and that's why we went ahead and did these a little bit looser so that they're easier to crochet into right now. At the top I'm going to do a slip stitch to keep it nice and separated from the left and the right. Continue with my single crochets up until I get to where I started this edging row. Now that I've made it all the way back around, I'm going to snip my yarn and I'm going to fasten off using the invisible join. I do have a full dedicated tutorial for the invisible join. It is the best way, in my opinion, to fasten off any crochet project that has a start and an end point such as this. Makes it flawless, makes it seamless, looks great. Awesome. I crocheted over this one, and since I'm not going to be throwing this in the washer, presumably, I am not going to worry about this end being too woven in, right? So at this point, you could lay it flat and decide, oh my gosh, I just love this as a placemat, depending on what hook and size hook and what yarn you use. You can use this for tiny little ones. If you made with embroidery floss, you can make it and have them as coasters, right? So cool. So now that we have this, you can see that it kind of needs some help, especially if we hang this up. It's not going to hold its shape super well. So we are using the floral stem wire. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 of these wires. We're going to take our floral stem wrapping tape and we're just going to wrap them together, overlapping for just, you know, 1.5 inches or so. Nothing too crazy. We just don't want it to come apart. We are going to be crocheting around these, so it's going to hold pretty well, especially once you get that yarn going around it. So I'm just going to kind of wrap it around and around and around. You don't want it to be too bulky because, like I said, it is going to be covered in crochet. You just don't want those ends poking out to where you're going to see them, right? And come back over to the other side. Get that all covered up. Awesome. Perfect. So now we have this super long floral wire that is long enough to go around the entire leaf. So what I'm going to do, I have found that if you have your end piece here towards the bottom of the leaf, it ends up working out better because where this join is, we want it to land somewhere on the side here. We don't want the join to be smack dab at the top. So it helps if when you start this row going around this wire, hold the wire just like this. It can be hanging over quite a few inches. It does not really matter. Start a few stitches over to the left of the point. This just helps to hide any seams later. So I'm going to pull up a loop, chain 1, and we're going to single crochet around the entire leaf going around the wire. So we're encompassing the wire. Single crochet just like this. Now continue going around the entire leaf, and what I've noticed is that since this floral wire is wrapped, it has a bit more grip to it than it would if it didn't have any wrapping around it. So it's kind of nice that it does not slide around too much as you are crocheting around the leaf itself. So as you go, every, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches or so, we're going to adjust where the leaf is on the wire to really make sure that all of these stitches are opened up as much as possible. So now I'm going to kind of pull my yarn out a little bit so that I don't need a stitch marker. I'm just going to kind of pull my stitches apart like this. Now, what you can go ahead and do is move this down a little bit. Go ahead and crook this like this so that it won't go anywhere. And this will be your bottom corner here. When we get back around, we're going to go over this end and attach right here. So let me continue crocheting around the entire piece, fanning out those stitches as needed as I make my way around. Do it again. Kind of pull those stitches up and just continue doing that all the way around. When I get back over here, we will encompass this around together so that you can see how to finish her off and weave in all of these ends. We are so close to being finished. Isn't this so much fun? I love it. So I've made my way single crocheting around this floral wire for the majority of this leaf. You can see how it's kind of flimsy here. What I mean when I'm saying to push the leaves out is push it like this. Push that wire in there and watch how those holes really open up. And then you can kind of shape any of the corners as you need to. I did dip the wire down in the center here and then just continued crocheting around as we are. So continue pushing this wire in. And like I said, since the wire is coated or wrapped, it helps it grip onto those stitches a little bit better. So you shouldn't have to push it too hard, or at least consistently. So once we get down here to where we're getting close to the end of this wire, we're going to make sure that the crook that we created is at the bottommost point of it. If we need to push this wire in a little bit to open up these, that's perfectly fine. We're just going to make sure that wherever this is, this crook, it's at the bottom of the leaf and ready to crochet around it, going the opposite direction. You may need to get some wire clippers if you have any. If you don't, you can just bend this back and crochet over all of the layers. I'm going to go ahead and push this as far in as I can to accommodate for the end there. I'm going to clip my wire about right here because I don't want it to overlap or poke out the bottom. Get that removed. So now I'm going to hold these two together, and you could put more floral tape around the ends there, but honestly it's kind of difficult with this crochet in the way. So I'm going to just kind of hold these together like this and continue my single crocheting around both pieces of wire to help hold it into place. Once you get going past that one end, it gets a lot easier. Just like this. We've got just a few more stitches. In this bottommost stitch, I'm going to place 3 single crochets. Now I'm going to crochet in the next open stitch. I'm going to kind of finagle a little bit, make sure that this looks nice. It does. So now I'm going to kind of pull the wire, shape it into place just a little bit. Perfect. Now I'm going to fasten off. I'm going to clip this yarn. I'm going to pull this straight on through just like I do for an invisible join. And I'm going to weave in these ends nice and securely. Pull my beginning tail just a little bit. I'm going to find that first stitch that I made here, and we're just going to sew this together using the invisible join technique. Like I said, I do have a full tutorial for the invisible join. I'm going to flip it over, and across the back here, I'm just going to weave in my ends so that you can't really see that wire. Awesome. Go up through here. Excellent. Let's clip that. And then we'll want to weave in this one too. You could crochet around this one like we did with the original single crochet row. Perfectly fine, either way. Just make sure that you weave in those ends securely, however you decide to do it. And that is it to the Monstera leaf. Isn't this so much fun? I just love how fast these are to work up. They're quick, they're easy, they work great as placemats or coasters, or the fabulous boho wall hanging that I have available for free on hearthookhome.com. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll come and crochet with me again soon. Thank you for watching.